Excellent. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Beyond the Badge. I welcome back our returning audience for season 4, episode 6. As you saw in the intro, these are the June stories. So, our 6th month of our 4th year hosting these monthly Beyond the Badge episodes. I'm so proud and honored to be the host of Beyond the Badge. I'm Steve Fecto from Talent Development and Learning. I'm joined backstage by our Spotlight Committee and my TDL colleagues. Special thanks to Alyssa Jean Andrea, Michael Joseph, and Jessica Rubin, who are backstage with a captive and engaged and excited and a little nervous audience of celebrants who we want to showcase for you today. Also, of course, our Spotlight Committee members, they're the ones who are going to be reading these exceptional employee and team stories for you today. This is a team of people across our large Mount Sinai Health System in all of our different hospitals and facilities who are committed to patient experience work and, of course, our employee experience with events like these. They are so passionate about celebrating our people and what makes our community of employees and teams at Mount Sinai Health System a very special place to work. I know they're eager to share some stories with you today. And then, of course, I've got to thank you. Thank you for being here. As I see in these first few minutes, our audience is starting to file in. I want to welcome back our loyal and committed audience who comes back month after month after month. That is often our leadership community who continues to come back. They're inspired by these stories and hearing them every single month. So thank you for being such regulars at Beyond the Badge. And for those of you who are new, first timers, you're probably here because you know someone being celebrated today. You're a family member. Let's have a shout out for all those family members who are proud to celebrate one of your loved ones here today. Colleagues, teams in conference rooms watching and excited to celebrate their colleague. So thank you all for being here. I want you to know you've got a role. I know you're off camera and you're off mute, but you've got that reaction button down there. You've got that chat. Use that chat as much as you want to celebrate the people you're here to celebrate, as well as all of our wonderful honorees. And I do just want to remind our audience where these stories come from. It alluded to it in the video, but every single day, it's a tradition here at Mount Sinai Health System that every day we have a very important operations huddle where our senior leadership across our health system come together to make sure we're set for a safe, high quality, and excellent day here at Mount Sinai. But they've built in a special pause, a moment where one leader who attends that huddle, that's our senior leadership, gets their chance to share an employee story that makes them proud, that says, this is what it means to work at this facility or in this role and here at Mount Sinai. Something that just jumps out at them, a patient letter, a peer-to-peer star recognition that spoke to them, a one-time remarkable story, or maybe a special project that says, yes, this demonstrates the work that makes Mount Sinai a special place. And they shared these stories. The ones we're going to bring to you are the stories from June. I got to give a special thanks to Rebecca Anderson and Swati Garg and Joseph Mary and Hillary Pauly. They lead these huddles in this moment and they collect those stories and they send them to us so that we can now bring the subjects of those stories on screen to be honored. So that's where these come from. We're excited to share them with you. And I want to get into those stories. Now, I always like to start by talking about that leadership audience that's out there. I bring up two leaders each time, and somebody I wanted to call up to kick us off today is someone who I'm pretty sure has been to all 41 previous episodes. She's such a loyal leader when it comes to celebrating employees, is here all the time. You see her in the chat every month. I want to call on Erica Rubenstein to kick us off. Erica is in the Joseph F. Cullman Jr. Institute for Patient Experience. If you know her, you know she's the vice president of patient experience here for the Mount Sinai Health System and is such a passionate leader in the employee experience. And Erica, I'd love to hear you say hello to our audience today.
Oh, thank you so much, Steve, and to everyone. It is so exciting to be here every month at Beyond the Badge and today to help kick us off. A big congratulations to all of the celebrants that we're honoring today, to the families that are on, to their colleagues and leadership who are tuning in today as well. Beyond the Badge is really one of my favorite parts about being at Mount Sinai. It's a chance for us all, like you said, Steve, to pause and come together to celebrate and also to remind each other why we're all here, what unites us all in the work that we do. And it also, to be honest, it reminds me to look for different ways throughout the week and the month to acknowledge and recognize people here at Mount Sinai on a more regular basis. And so I truly appreciate that this time that we have together. My role in patient experience allows me to listen very carefully to what our patients are telling us that they want to see when they come to us for their care. And I know, as you said, we're going to see some of those and hear about some of those examples today in the wonderful stories that are shared. But I think what's also really special about Beyond the Badge is that so many of our patients and their families reach out to us asking us to celebrate staff. They will write to us and say how amazing the security guard was, or the transporter, or the nurse, or the physician. And they'll say, please, please, please tell them that we said so and celebrate them. And so Beyond the Badge allows us to keep our promise to those patients and to those families. And I'm just so grateful for that. So I can't wait to hear the stories today. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. I do. I love seeing a story that ends with, you have to recognize this person. So we got it. And I think you're absolutely on point with hearing these stories that unify us. Sometimes I got to remember that these are from all over our health system, but they sound like it could have been one department, all aligned with the same things and humanity and empathy and the teamwork. And the stories sound so similar, even though they're spread across all of our facilities in Mount Sinai. It really shows that one Mount Sinai belief and vision and commitment of how we are aligned. So you're absolutely on point there. I know you're going to enjoy these stories that we share. So thanks so much, Erica. I'll be looking for your comments in the chat, celebrating the great work. And another leader I want to bring up, Queens, Mount Sinai Queens, always a great leadership team, always coming on to cheer on their people. I believe they got the first story coming up. It's a team at Queens. So I wanted to invite this month, Dr. Amrita Gupte. She's the Chief Medical Officer and Vice President of Medical Affairs at Mount Sinai Queens. Dr. Gupte, I thank you so much for being here. I'd love to give you a chance to lead us off in today's episode and say hello.
Steve, thank you so much for inviting me, and good afternoon, everyone. It's absolute honor to welcome you all today at the Beyond the Batch celebration, and most especially to congratulate each one of the incredible honorees we have here today. And as mentioned earlier, this is a moment for us to pause and recognize and truly celebrate you all. And I want you to know that you are seen, you're valued by all the leadership at the health system. At Mount Sinai, we talk a lot about excellence, but you actually live it. And what makes our community so extraordinary is beyond the groundbreaking science, beyond the complex care that we give. It's the people that work here at the health system. It's your commitment to compassion, the professionalism that you show in every interaction, and those quiet moments where you go above and beyond for our patients, our families, and our colleagues. And I want to say often without ever expecting that recognition. So hats off to all of you. As a chief medical officer, I have the privilege of hearing to so many of these stories during our morning huddles. And I can tell you one thing, they're absolutely inspiring. They fill me up with pride. They keep us grounded in the mission, and they remind us why we choose to do this work in the first place. These stories truly define who we are and who we strive to be. So I want to reinforce the Mount Sinai Health System's commitment to making sure that we continue to lift up and amplify the work of all of you people who are actually the heartbeat of our system. So honoring and celebrating those who embody our values is not just important, it's very critical for the work that we do. I'm especially excited to hear all the stories that are going to be shared today, the unique ways how you made a difference. And I'll be listening in for those sparks of purpose, of compassion in action, and the leadership through service. And that's exactly why Mount Sinai Health System is such a special place to receive care, but beyond that, a better place, a far better place to be, to work. So thank you again for everything you do, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think you nailed it. We can talk about what does we find a way. This is, our brand and all of our values and our mission and vision. But it's these stories of people living it. The honorees we have today are the ones who live it every day, who show us what that really looks like, what that means. And I really look forward to hearing their insights and how they live these values and their purpose every day as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Gupti. We look forward to hearing from our honorees, and they'll be sharing those insights. So sit back and enjoy. And with that, I want to jump into our stories, and you're going to like the first story because it's Mount Sinai Queen. So I'm going to call on Jessica Lee, who's going to read this next story. And we have this team from Queens. After we read the story, we're going to spotlight you a little closer so we can really see you back there, Queens. And I even saw Anna Rodriguez in the chat. She's ready, and we're all ready. Kick us off, Jessica. Let's hear our first story.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessica. I have the honor of sharing the story that recognizes this incredible team here at MSQ. Let's get started. A recent patient who was diagnosed with meningitis wrote to express her deep appreciation for the outstanding care and support she received during her stay. She emphasized the teamwork and compassion of everyone involved in her treatment. She praised Dr. Farhana Sati and Dr. Alyssa Fori for their professionalism, clinical expertise, and most notably their kindness. Their willingness to communicate openly and ensure she felt seen and heard helped ease her fears and provided a sense of safety during her vulnerable time. Nurse Yvette and Nurse Cynthia each provided care marked by skill and compassion. Nurse Pima stood out for her efforts to educate and empower her to participate in her own recovery actively, helping her feel more in control during this period of uncertainty for her. She also thanked nurse aides Joan and Mayra for their attention to detail, efficiency, and friendly presence. Their kind conversations and warm smiles brought comfort and reminded her she was not alone during this time. We thanked this patient for sharing her experience and for recognizing the commitment and compassion of our team. We're really grateful.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Big round of applause for that team back there. And I got to ask this group, and we're going to bring you front and center here, someone to comment on this because the letter commented on how they felt supported, seen and heard, educated on their condition, and that they were an active participant in their recovery. And I'd love if someone could speak to how this team collaborates, because it took all of you, to bring that type of exceptional and inclusive experience and how you do that for all of your patients. So who'd like to jump in and share a bit about that?
Well, hello. I'm Joseph. I'm the Magna Champ and Union Delegate for 3 East, and I am not at all surprised with the names I heard of my colleague, specifically but not limited to Cynthia, my fellow Daisy nurse. Daisy, welcome. I think we pride ourselves on not only our teamwork, but we all on our floor, most of us started around 2022. So we're fairly new at the bedside nursing, and we really work together as a team. We collaborate often. We have a new nurse manager who's given some great leadership, and we have an awesome assistant nurse manager in Sharon. But the teamwork on our floor, and most who are on this call will tell you, is second to none.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing that and for giving some shout outs to the members of the team. This was clearly a collaborative group, and it's inspiring to hear that it's a relatively new group to work together since only 2022, that you are that exceptional as a team. Teamwork is, I'm not in the spotlight right now. I've got my little sign that says teamwork that I bring around with me. It's one thing to say teamwork's important at Mount Sinai, but it's letters like this that show, we hear from our patients on how that teamwork was important to them, that everyone played a role in them having that active role in their care. So excellent, excellent work. Keep being a role model team that Mount Sinai can look to as an example of what work looks like here at Mount Sinai. All right, thank you all. It's funny, I can see backstage, and I even see some of our celebrants backstage who are cheering and waving their hands. They're so excited and proud to see that too. So I'm going to come back. We're going to go on to our next story. We have another team. We're starting off with some great teams, and it's the radiology team at Mount Sinai Doctors Long Island. I've got Rebecca Asmussen, who represents the network practices, ready to share the story of this radiology team. All right, take it away, Rebecca.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I'm excited to recognize this team. A physician wrote to recognize the life-saving effort of the radiology team at Mount Sinai Doctors Long Island. They wrote, I saw a 93-year-old gentleman in clinic presenting with left flank pain. I've treated him for kidney stones in the past, and while my suspicion for a new stone was low, I still ordered a stone protocol CT for further evaluation. While this was late in the day on a Friday before a holiday weekend, there was absolutely no delay in getting the patient scanned. In my experience, this level of responsiveness is unheard of at most institutions. There is no doubt that this is due to the hard work of Dr. Thomas Menino, Al Alvarez, Sarah Curtis, and Dr. Scott Ingber in building the radiology department at Mount Sinai Doctors Long Island into an imaging center that is on par with the absolute best in the region. Doctors Mike Bonatti and Tian Yun Lu read the scan immediately, which revealed an aortic aneurysm, and urged that I have the patient sent to the ED immediately, where he was subsequently airlifted and underwent a 10-hour aortic replacement surgery. The coordination, expertise, and sense of urgency demonstrated by everyone involved ultimately saved this patient's life. I feel incredibly fortunate to work alongside such exceptional colleagues.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. So the urgency here and that fast response time was so critical in saving the life of this patient. But I want to ask this group and someone to speak to this. In this provider's words, can someone speak to what you feel makes this team an imaging center that is on par with the absolute best in the region? What does this team do so well that puts you in that high praise?
Our motto is all about patient care. And for the appropriate patient care, we have to go above and beyond with every person that walks through that door. So our culture within the department is to take care of everybody, and it could be all day, every day, or whatever the situation is. That's just what we do, and that's what we went into healthcare for, to care for our patients. So as much as we appreciate the shout out from Dr. Gorin, that's how we treat all our patients. It's we never say no. We always say, let's get it done. So that's pretty much that's the team. Yeah. That's how the team functions, and that's the culture that we have. That from the front desk to the radiologist, that we all work as a unit and take care of every patient that walks through that door the same way.
Yeah, and I love to hear that. And I know sometimes we hear and have groups come on because of these extraordinary stories, but then realizing this is how every patient, the same level of expertise and care that every patient gets, sometimes it's just leads to a remarkable story. And I'm just a quick follow-up, does this team see themselves as the best in the region? And what makes you the best in the region, do you think?
I'm gonna sound cocky, but yeah.
You sound cocky. That's all right. We want you to brag.
Been doing this for 32 years, and I think the team that we have here, including the team in the city that we do a lot of collaboration with in radiology, is the best that I've worked for. Everybody has the same, just the outlook is just to care for our patients, like I said before, and I've been around enough to know that that's not always the case.
Yep.
And that's kind of why with this team that we put together here has that same
Beautiful
mentality. And
we put together a great team, and congrats to you all. We're so glad we got to share this story and spotlight the Mount Sinai Doctors Long Island radiology team. And I think you're going to hear a lot of stories that show people in that same vein of how they really are exceptional at caring for patients and treating everyone as a VIP. Thank you so much to this team. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Rebecca. I do want to point out there are more stories in our program. It is a summer August episode on a Friday. So we do have some people who are out this week. You can find, if you've already noticed, Alyssa and Michael and Jessica have been dropping that program in the chat. Read some additional stories. There's a great one from Mount Sinai Brooklyn nurse, Kalita Kazimova, whose compassion, attentiveness, and gentle demeanor were recognized by a patient's family. She even wrote a response to that about how it reminds her to continue to be excellent every day. There's another for a senior biomed technician, Stephen Rivera, on his 35-year veteran experience here at Mount Sinai. There's a facilities manager for a few facilities at Mount Sinai West and Morningside, Robert Williams, talking about his excellent and professional work and positive attitude. And then one more from Mark Enrique de Leon, who's one of the original clinical program managers in the Patient Transfer Centers Department, Services Department. So you can read about those stories in your program, as well as some more details about all of our honorees. But let's jump into some of these other stories. We have our Appreciation by Patients section. These are more patient letters that led to a recognition. And we're going to go to Andres Morera in West for the next couple of stories here. And first up, our emergency department nurses, Tristan Marie Castillo and Shirley Liu. There's Tristan. Hi. And Andres, take it away.
Absolutely, Steve. So, a patient wrote, "My wife and I had an emergency visit to Mount Sinai West, and we are deeply grateful for the exceptional care she received. From the moment we arrived, the entire staff demonstrated professionalism, efficiency, and a sincere commitment to patient well-being. We want to give a special recognition to nurses Tristan Castillo and Shirley Liu, whose compassionate attention and calming presence made a difficult situation much easier to bear. Nurse Castillo was thorough, kind, and attentive, consistently checking in and explaining each step with clarity and care. Nurse Liu brought a warmth and gentleness that immediately put us at ease, all while moving with the precision and focus that comes from true experience and dedication. Both nurses went above and beyond, not only in their medical care, but in their ability to treat my wife with dignity and humanity. It's rare to encounter such a powerful balance of professionalism and heart in healthcare, yet they exemplified it perfectly. In times of uncertainty, they provided both healing and hope."
Thank you, Andres. And Tristan, it looks like Shirley wasn't able to make it, but we're glad you could be here and speak on behalf of both of you and the work you do in the emergency department. And I love that this patient commented on your balance of clinical expertise and professionalism, along with the emotional side, humanity, kindness, and hope. And humanity is something I've been hearing much, much more from patients in their letters about them recognizing the humanity of our staff. Can you share how you provide this balance of the clinical and the emotional care for the patients you see in the emergency department?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the emergency department, I do strive to combine the clinical expertise, the compassion, and I do that by just simply listening to the patient and communicating clearly and effectively, and just responding with empathy, even especially in the ED where it's really high pressure, urgent situations. I believe a small, acts of kindness and presence can bring humanity to even the most urgent encounters. So balancing the medical care with emotional support, helps patients feel not only just safe, but also seen during vulnerable times. So ultimately, just, looking at them as someone's loved one, take care of them as if they're your own.
Feeling safe and feeling seen, feeling safe with the excellent clinical care, feeling seen with someone who listened to your story and you could really empathize with them. Excellent way to put it. Thank you, Tristan. So important in our emergency departments. I know emergency medicine leadership is always here watching and celebrating these stories. I think that you were in the newsletter that just went out from emergency medicine celebrating this story for people to come watch. I saw. So they're so proud of you and Shirley, and we thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Andre, stick with me. We got another one from West. This is Mount Sinai West Ambulatory Leadership, recognized Andrea Michael. So let's bring Andrea up and hear this story.
Absolutely. A patient shared their appreciation for clinical manager of audiology, Andrea Michaels, writing, "Both my husband and I have been longtime patients of Andrea. We are both hearing impaired, and as an added challenge, my husband is suffering from Alzheimer's. Andrea has so much patience when working with him, really empathizing to his individual needs. What sets Andrea apart is that her kindness and care are clearly genuine. We always look forward to seeing her, and it's obvious she feels the same. Her warmth has made such a difference in our lives, period. Her manager adds, quote, as a skilled clinician, Andrea brings not only expertise, but also comfort and compassion to each of her patients. She builds trust effortlessly and ensures that each patient feels heard, valued, and respected. Andrea is the heart and soul of our audiology division and a shining example of what it means to be a healthcare professional and a truly exceptional human being. Congratulations, Andrea.
Love it. And Andrea, and even though it's de-identified, I assume you know who this couple is, and you
Yes.
know them well. And they comment on your genuine kindness and care for them. So, and then in addition, your manager talks about how you effortlessly build trust with patients. I'd love to hear you talk about your own personal approach that you feel makes such a meaningful difference for families like this and all of your patients.
Well, I do want to say thank you first and foremost, because really it is such, I might be sitting here in front of the screen by myself, but it really is a team effort. That particular couple, they see both myself and another physician here, and it really is, I mean, there's coordination of care, scheduling appointments together, and it's the front staff, the billing department, everybody combined. It's so important that we show our patients that we care and that we're here for them. But in terms of my personal approach, I love getting to know my patients. I think it's so important to build that trust. I feel like it's important that they know that I feel like they're a member of my family, and I'm going to treat them like a member of my family. Very often, I'll ask them about their trip to Iceland or how their grandkids were doing in law school, and they know all about my life. I just think it's very important, especially when you're trying to bring hearing back to individuals and get them connected with what's important to them. I think it's also important that they realize that I'm here to help them get to that point. And my entire staff, everybody here that I'm working with, my colleagues, we're always going to support them. And that's the most important thing. But it is very nice, and I really appreciate the fact that I am being recognized for that. But it's not just me, it's all of us together. And I just appreciate everything. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for highlighting even the detail of like scheduling their appointments together. Someone's doing that, making sure that's coordinated. But then I just love to hear how you, spoke to the idea of getting to know why this is important to them, their hearing. It's not, of course, hearing is important, but specifically, what's your life like, and why is this of value to you, and why is this important to you, and taking the time to understand that. Is it being able to be having conversations with their grandkids, and those details are so important. And hearing you identify that is this aha for me and for anyone in our audience, I'm sure. So, and I'm sure getting to know them brings joy to your life too. It makes
Oh,
the
it
job more
does. It's great.
pleasurable.
I have a lot of extended family now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea, it's such a wonderful message that you shared with us today. Thank you so much. Thanks to
Thank
everyone
you.
involved
I
in the
appreciate it.
care that of those you work with as well. And thanks
Yeah,
to the patients
ENT.
for writing the letter. Thank you. Keep it up.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, thanks, Andrea, and thank you, Andres. We're going to go. Let's bring Kimberly DeLeon on for the next few stories. We're going to Mount Sinai Hospital. Now, the first story is for Christine Wan, who is from Mount Sinai Health System's radiology leadership. They recognize Christine, and Christine is at Mount Sinai Hospital. So let's let Kim take this one, who represents our Mount Sinai Hospital committee.
Thank you, Steve. Very excited to mention to you the story of our first honoree from the Mount Sinai Hospital. Ultrasound technologist Christine Yuan received a glowing letter from a patient which highlights her kindness and shows her willingness to support both patients and her team. She was the first to notice a suspicious mass during a patient's exam and was there to make the patient feel comfortable while waiting. Christine sat with the patient and comforted her as she received the news that the findings may be cancerous. The patient described her as tender, kind, and caring. Christine consistently shows a positive attitude, strong work ethic, and high dependability. Her quiet demeanor fosters a peaceful, comforting environment for patients and coworkers. She is dedicated to quality care and always ensures the patient's needs come first. Our radiology leadership truly appreciates Christine for excellence in service. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kim. And Christine, do I have it right that you just passed 1 year here at Mount Sinai? So even in that limited time, you've already built this reputation for being dedicated to quality care and as someone who ensures the patient needs come first. And I'd love to hear you describe your personal approach to the quality care you provide for your patients here at Mount Sinai.
You very much. I'm really honored to be here. As an ultrasound technologist, we need two things, sharp eyes and a warm heart. Sharp eyes is to spot the issue, and warm heart is to care for the patient. patients don't just here need to be a scan. They need to be seen, cared for, and treated with compassion. Otherwise, AI will steal our job. And also a big thanks to my amazing team at KM Radiology. They inspire me every day. Mount Sinai is great. We find a way.
Oh my gosh, I love it. You're my hero. Yes, you've got cards too. It's not just me. So well done, Christine. You got to remind me now. I've already forgot it. Sharp eyes and warm heart.
Yes.
I love a really simple purpose statement that reminds you every day, every patient, what am I bringing? Sharp eyes, warm heart. And you're absolutely right. Helping your patients feel seen, that you can bring that as a human, that AI
Yeah, not the
can't, to
AI.
bring that sense into real relationships. So wonderfully said. What a great button at the end, whether we find a way. Christine, congrats on what is clearly an exceptional first year at Mount Sinai Health System. And I hope you see 20 to 30 more wonderful years ahead caring for our patients.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. Kim, we're going to stick with Mount Sinai Hospital. We're going to move into our next category, though. Next is appreciation by colleagues. So a lot of these come from STAR recognition. We have a link to STAR right in our resources tab on this Zoom. It's something any employee can send to another employee. And sometimes there are just some really incredible ones that end up going straight to the huddle. Next up is one for Joyce Person. It came from a STAR recognition. Joyce is from Mount Sinai Hospital. Let's bring her up and Kim share this story.
All right, another rock star from the Mount Sinai Hospital. A colleague recognized Choice Person, a business associate on GP6 West, for going above and beyond every day. She goes down to the kitchens for night shift post-op and admissions when we are not given extra trays. She will go to the linen room to make sure the night shift is set and our patients will be more comfortable. She is welcoming and compassionate with all the patients and visitors. Everyone loves to talk with her. She makes them feel heard and cared for. When we have to switch patients' rooms, she seamlessly works with bed management to find an efficient solution. She does everything. I'm always so grateful to work with her. Thank you, Joyce, for all you do.
I love it. A list of the everything that you do, Joyce. That list, and I'm sure much, much more. I'm so glad your colleague took the time to express their personal appreciation for you in such a nice way. And can you tell us about the personal commitment you make to your work on this unit that inspires you to do everything for them, to go above and beyond for the patients and for your colleagues who are so appreciative?
So my approach is very simple. I just treat everyone that enters the unit as if they're a guest. And in turn, everyone feels recognized, they feel heard, they know that they're important. I mean, ultimately, I am the first person that they see when they come to Six West, so I just take the extra time to make sure I'm making a positive impression.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just reached, just like Christine, I just made 1 year in this position last week. So shout out to Six West. And just like she said, it's also a team effort. I don't do anything alone. And my job here is just to make sure everyone is good and good standing.
Well, congrats on your 1 year, Joyce. I love to hear new hires and not new anymore. I mean, 1 year in, but make that immediate impact and to hear your purpose.
1 year in this position.
1 year in this position. Okay.
4 years with Mount Sinai.
4 years at Mount Sinai. Well, 1 year, and you are absolutely right. Seeing that role as that first impression. For those who don't know the business associate, that person on the unit that everyone is looking for help. Who do I go to? I've got a question. I got a concern. That person who greets you, seeing them as guests, seeing everyone as a guest, then you're there to support, and bring that warmth to and bring that support to is clearly being seen and appreciated not only by the patients, but by your colleagues who submitted this.
Thank you. And
Keep
shout out to
being
my
wonderful,
colleagues.
Joyce.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kim, you got one more, and we're going to stick with you. We have Mohammed Ratu from Pharmacy, Mount Sinai Health System Pharmacy Leadership, recognized at Mount Sinai Hospital employee, Mohammed Ratu. Here's Mohammed, and Kim, you can take it away.
All right. Mohammed Ratu was recognized by a provider who wrote, Mohammed is an amazing pharmacist and colleague, and I don't think the myeloma inpatient service would run without him. He is extremely smart and knowledgeable, is always on top of everything, and is committed to error prevention. Furthermore, Mohammed is quick to help colleagues without hesitation. Throughout the day, he engages all team members, attendings, residents, fellows, nurses, and students in teaching points that are extremely helpful. I have even reached out to him multiple times to ask about things related to my patients in outpatient clinic, and he was always ready to help. Finally, Mohammed is very excited about academia and is always up for collaborating on research projects, conference abstracts, and publications. Mohammed is a true star and deserves the highest recognition.
All right. I don't know if we consider this the highest recognition, but we're excited to provide some additional recognition on behalf of the person who wrote this for you, Mohammed. And, this provider commented on how much help you are to the team, but also how they recognize that you're equally supportive to everyone inside and out of the myeloma service. So, how would you describe the personal commitment you make to being this exceptional colleague and exceptional team member to anyone in need?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying thank you, everyone. There's certainly no I in the team, but I am very grateful to work alongside a wonderful group of oncologists, medical residents, nurse practitioners, physician associates, social workers, pharmacists, students, and many other learners who join us regularly for rounds. Our pharmacy department and its leadership is extremely supportive of our clinical pharmacy services and activities. And answering your question, my personal commitment is to continue promoting that deep inquiry and creativity in our clinical challenges. And as an inpatient clinical team, we all collectively strive each and every day to provide the safest and highest quality of care. And we know, even on those tough days, as Christine just said, we find a way.
There you go. And you got our safety and you got our creativity in there. So I appreciate that, Mohammed, from our values. And I just love how in your mindset, even thinking about the people you're thanking and describing them as learners. And it's about that inquiry and that creative thought and what you're coming together for that higher learning as a group and recognizing how important that is to find a way to be a growth group, a growth system, a growth individual, and a growth team that comes together with that curiosity and that creativity and that inquiry is so great to hear. And that's what leads us to finding answers, and we find a way. So well put, well phrased. You were prepared and ready with an excellent, excellent comment. Thanks, Mohammed. I'm glad we got to share this star. Congrats to you, and thank you, Kim, for sharing these Mount Sinai Hospital stories. We're going to go next to the Mount Sinai Behavioral Health Center. I've got Christine Pescator here to read a story. Now, we've had stories from this center before, but now they're officially in the rotation where each month they're going to have a story. And so our first, since they've been added to the rotation, is for Maria Eva Mahane Comio. She goes by Ava. And let's hear this star recognition.
Hi, good morning, Steve, and congratulations to everyone celebrating today. A colleague shared the star recognition for nurse Eva Mahaney, writing, "Today I witnessed a heartwarming moment that beautifully reflects the dedication and compassion of our behavioral health center staff. A nurse from 2R played calming music for a patient who is typically very anxious during her long-acting injection. The music brought her visible comfort during the procedure. It's a small but powerful example of how our team goes above and beyond to provide thoughtful, patient-centered care to a population that faces significant challenges." Leadership adds that Eva's attention to detail sets a high standard. She embodies thoughtfulness and dedication in her work, which earns her glowing feedback from our patients.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christine and Ava. I noted how both your colleague and your leader use the same phrase, thoughtfulness. Can you tell us how you provide thoughtful, patient-centered care? What does that look like in your work with your patients?
First of all, thank you for the recognition and thoughtfulness. One of the things that I have noticed over the years are our patients need to feel important. You have to put yourself into where they're coming from. When they walk inside the building, and this is outpatient, we moved here about a year and a half ago, and the patients feel like they were feeling like different from the patients in psychiatry. I had to make sure I make them feel welcome, because they have the psychiatry and addiction into one. So I had to make them feel like they're part of the team. Even though the place has moved, it's the same team that's here to take care of them. So to me, thoughtfulness is one, patient-centered care. Each person that walks in, I do my best to make a difference in that. No matter 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, I try to make them feel comfortable that they are also like the rest of us, human beings, feeling respected and treated well, because they have a lot of trauma in the past.
Right. So that thoughtfulness, is coming through in your humanity that you shared. I love that you were thinking through this was a transition for them into a new location and helping support them through that, and being there for them is so well put. And I gotta ask, it looks like you might even have your guitar
Yes, I
down
have.
below in your arms there. Am I right?
Yes.
So this is you actually were playing this music for the patient to help them through this procedure?
Yes, I believe in music. I've been playing the guitar since I was 11. I've been here at Beth Israel Mount Sinai for 38 years. And to
38.
me, taking care of the patient is just my love. It's just my love from day one. So here's my music, everybody. If you can clap your hands and go,
Oh, I'm sorry. Zoom ends up cutting it out. It thinks it's background noise. But we're gonna have to have a concert.
Yes.
Back there. I love that you have it with you. I love that you play for your patients. I love that you've brought that heart into the work you do for 38 years. Everyone, let the hearts flutter up and let Ava see that right now. Thank you for the kindness and warmth and music that you bring to our patients every day.
All right. Thank you for having me.
I love it. No, write our new Beyond the Badge theme song. We'll start using it for the future. Thank you, Eva. Next up is a first for Beyond the Badge. Our Mount Sinai downtown leadership recognized a Blavatnik Family Chelsea Medical Center colleague who happens to be normally the presenter on Beyond the Badge, who reads the stories for anyone from Chelsea. That's Nydia Sanchez. So we're going to have Tony Maley, our other committee member, come up and read this story for our first ever, a presenter and committee member who was recognized on the huddle, Nydia Sanchez. So Tony, I'll let you start us off.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Today, we're excited to recognize Nydia Sanchez, our Chelsea Administrative Coordinator, for her extraordinary teamwork and collaboration. She consistently goes above and beyond to work across departments, always demonstrating unwavering support. Nydia is always eager to assist, offering her help whenever needed, and ensuring that the oncology staff and leaders feel truly supported. Her willingness to step in and make a difference has been invaluable to the team. Thank you, Nydia, for your constant dedication and for being a team player and helping the administrative team function seamlessly behind the scenes. Your contributions are deeply appreciated, as we are fortunate to have you at Chelsea. Thank you for all that you do each and every day. A heartfelt congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. And Nydia, what stood out to me in this story, and I know you too, it's just so nice to be able to celebrate you. But it was not just that you're willing to assist, but that you're eager to assist, eager to step in and make a difference. So can you talk about this enthusiasm you have for making a difference in how you support the people and the teams at the Blavatnik Family Chelsea Medical Center?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Steve, Tony, Carolina for the acknowledgement. And I enjoy my job, and my goal is making everyone's day go smoothly. Management is already busy with their day-to-day, and if I can be a source of relief, I am here for them. Thank you for acknowledging my work. It motivates me to continue striving for excellence. And like I said in our huddle this morning that, when I don't have an answer, we find a way to get an answer for you. Congratulations to all the honorees.
Boom, I need a We Find a Way counter that each time it's said, there's like a counter that hits it, because I love it that you connect your work to that. I just love, empathy is a value, and we think of empathy with our patients, but you're showing empathy for your colleagues, recognizing that they're busy, the leaders are dealing with things. Is there anything I can do to help them through their day because they can help our patients? So having that empathy works as a team as well, and that's what I heard in how you responded to that. So thank you, Nydia.
Thank you, everyone.
Really wonderful. Thank you, Nydia. Thank you, Tony. Next up, I believe we're still without our next guest, Natalie Quinones. We're holding on to see if Natalie can make it. Amy Nelson was going to come up for that story, but she's got the next story too. So if Natalie makes it, we'll go back to you, Amy, for Natalie's story. But we have a couple of teams coming up next. And first off is a pathology team that I saw is out in a room. Now, this is our spotlight section. This is highlighting some great work that's happening around the health system. And our pathology team of AKM Juber Ahmed, Samantha St. Clair, Atufa Shah, Maria Teresa Alcantara were recognized. And I'm going to have Amy come on up to share this story for there they are, the pathology team, with some guests and some friends in there too. There you go. Okay, Amy.
Thanks, Steve. Recognizing a patient was very apprehensive about their colonoscopy results ahead of the weekend. A doctor expressed appreciation for how phenomenal it was that in less than 24 hours from the procedure, they were able to see the images in PowerPath and diagnose the adenomas. In response, laboratory leadership recognizes IHC supervisor AKM Juber Ahmed for exceeding expectations during a lab supervisor's absence, ensuring uninterrupted workflow and service quality. IHC team lead Samantha St. Clair for significantly streamlining the IHC processing workflow while enhancing efficiency and quality within the department, and digital pathology technician Atufa Shah and grossing technologist Maria Teresa Alcantara for their consistent dedication to timely task completion and operational excellence. The Department of Pathology sincerely appreciates this team for their dedication, agility, and unwavering commitment to excellence in patient care.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. So I got to point out the doctor wrote phenomenal in all caps in their note of appreciation. So I'd love to just go to this team and see if someone would speak on behalf of the group to say how you see the phenomenal work you commit to together in the pathology lab. How would you describe that phenomenal work?
Let me speak for the team. We know we have a great team and most of us are good at something. But from my part, I can tell you what I am not good at. I'm not begging. If someone begs for us, that's fine. Putting aside those things, we recognize that we can go only somewhere alone. But to go further, we need a team. We need to build a team to go further, just like the way we go beyond the weekdays into the weekends. We need everybody's input. We need a team, and we also need to know our limitations. We know we are good, but we also need to know our limitations. Sometimes we cannot find a way. So that's why we have our own leadership. We go to our leaders and seek their help, and they are always give us some direction to find a way. So even though sometimes we don't find our way, we find some way later on. And that helps us in a long, long way. Thank you. Thank you for the recognition.
Thank you. Yeah, applause, everyone. Thank you. And it's so well put about how you see the team to first off recognizing, and we hear this a lot, recognizing that everyone brings something unique to the team. But then you flipped it and we're very vulnerable to say, but I also know what I'm not good at and where I need the team. And sometimes we can't find a way on our own, but we can find a way because that solution is somewhere in the group and in the team. So having this team that sees that knows that their role they play, knows how they can support each other, and that everyone leans on the team and recognizes it, we can only do this together. That's an inspiring way to define the team that you have here in the pathology lab. Really wonderful. Another round of applause for you guys. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. And thank you to the leaders who recognized and got to shine the spotlight on this pathology team in the Icahn School of Medicine. We're going to go on to another smaller group. We've got 3 people who I think we have at least 2 here from the Mount Sinai South Nassau. They lead our Reach Out and Read program that I know you're going to love to hear about. Olivia is going to share this. And let's bring up some of our members. Here we go, of our Reach Out and Read program.
Thank you so much, Steve, and congratulations to everyone. This team leads the Reach Out and Read program, which is provided to our patients at the family medicine practices located in Oceanside and Hempstead. This nonprofit program encourages shared reading and language-rich activities to boost young children's brain development and strengthen family connections. Our chair of pediatrics, Dr. Ferguson, serves as the clinical supervisor of our program, which is then led by RN Pamela Payabaduno, in Oceanside and LPN Regine Walton in Hempstead. The team provides education on successful engagement during reading times and interaction methods to maintain their child's attention. This enhances understanding amongst families and encourages the integration of reading into their daily routines. By implementing this program at Family Medicine, we can reach our underserved populations, address literacy challenges, and offer every child a solid foundation for success.
Wonderful. Thank you, Olivia. And as a parent, love to hear about this program. And I'm wondering if one or both of you could share just a bit about the positive impact you've seen this program have on the families of your practices.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I want to, first of all, thank you guys for the recognition. That's not something that we actually knew about or are expected, but it's a pleasant surprise. I want to thank Pam and Regine for the motivation, the hard work that they put into this, and not just them, but the staff, the entire staff at the Family Medicine Center here in Oceanside and our other center in Hempstead. So, yeah, what we have done over the years, we basically give books and promote reading to the children from the first visit, which is usually 2 to 3 days after discharge from hospital. And the parents have really bought into that program. And we see now that they are sharing the same belief that we have in terms of the early stimulation promoting learning. And so when the parents come, the kids are looking for a book, and the parents are also looking for the book. We note also the bonding, and these parents are encouraged to read to their children every day. And not only does it provide the stimulation and learning, but it also provides a form of bonding, both from the physician to the patient and or the provider to the patient, and also from the patient, between the patients and their parents. It has. We have seen the parents are excited when the kid starts to read, and many times, in the toddler years, when they start recognizing words and letters and they come in, they are excited to share with us how these patients are progressing. So it has been. We are seeing great rewards, and so are the parents.
Really, really wonderful. And I love the insight that it's not, we all know reading's important, but hearing the bonding element that is the other win that comes from the program is really wonderful. We got a great overview from Dr. Ferguson. Pam, did you want to add anything quick before?
Yes, I think in our department, in our field of practice, we're able to see, since we do continuum of care, we can actually see firsthand how the child's development has improved. So we actually can see how this program is effective with our patients. I know, when I first see a child that is struggling with spoken words at first, but then later, we see them grow, and then we can see them later, they're able to engage in conversation. That in itself, like when we see patients like that, it's very rewarding. So we can see how the positive effect that this program has.
You're seeing that visit after visit, seeing that, that change. And I'm sure that just continues to inspire you that this is working. This is a great program. And there's the confetti flying around. Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Ferguson, you don't have any confetti in your room. Thank you all for the great work. I'm so glad we got to highlight and leave that star right in your glasses. It's perfect. That's amazing. Thank you all. Congrats. And thank you for sharing a bit about this very important and wonderful work you're doing. All right. We've got 3 stories left to share with you. I know we're coming up close to the end of the hour. Stories. Kathy Gilbert's got the next 2. They're corporate entities. So we have first a supply chain story coming up for Tasha DeGeorge, who's here for this recognition. So let's bring Tasha up and Kathy, and you're ready to share.
Great. Thank you, Steve. While she may not be at the bedside, Tasha DeGeorge's contributions ultimately impact the excellent patient care provided to our patients. As a data analyst, Tasha is a key member of our supply chain team. She brings a smile to all she does and often goes above and beyond her regular duties. Her meticulous attention to detail and positive approach have been instrumental in ensuring the success of our operation and many projects. What sets Tasha apart is her commitment to getting the job done right the first time. She consistently follows up on assignments and tasks and does her best to minimize disruptions, allowing our organization to operate efficiently. Tasha always finds a way.
Oh, ding, there's another one. Found it at the end of your story, Tasha. So Tasha, your leadership recognizes how your work impacts the care we provide to our patients. Can you tell us about the commitment you make in your work in supply chain and how you make that personal connection to the patients and how they experience their care?
Sure. Thank you, Steve. And thank you. It's an honor to be recognized, and I'm grateful for the support from my team as well as leadership. Congratulations to all today's recipients. Your stories are truly inspiring. In supply chain, we work more behind the scenes, but our role is still critical to patient care. If a key product is suddenly unavailable or a vital piece of equipment breaks, we have to act quickly and we have to find a way to make sure all of you have what you need to care for your patients. I'm proud to be part of such a great team that takes that responsibility to heart every day. And thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Tasha. I love to hear from supply chain honorees because they all make a daily remembrance that we do this for the patients, and to lead with that every day in your work, and to then hear about the great work that happens in supply chain and that you're doing, that your colleagues are doing, is a powerful reminder to us all of that importance. And I know supply chain leadership is always out there in the audience cheering on. They're so proud to celebrate you and all of our supply chain colleagues.
They are. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tasha.
Thanks.
All right. And next up, Kathy, stick with us. We got another corporate colleague from Digital and Technology Partners. Again, their leaders are always excited out there to see our DTP honoree. And this month it's Jun Kwang Lee. So let's bring Jun up. And Kathy, let's share his story.
I hope I pronounced your name well. John King Lee consistently exemplifies the spirit of collaboration, cultivating a team environment rooted in open communication and mutual respect. His ability to engage colleagues and stakeholders effectively ensures alignment and success in achieving shared goals. He approaches every task with accountability and precision, delivering high-quality work on time and often ahead of expectations. His proactive mindset and problem-solving capabilities have been instrumental in overcoming challenges and driving impactful results. Equally commendable is Juan's commitment to continuous learning. He actively seeks growth opportunities, staying current with industry trends and best practices to refine his skill set and expand his impact. Yet it is his strong customer focus that sets him apart. He continually goes above and beyond to understand user needs and delivers exceptional service, leaving a positive and lasting impression with every interaction.
Thank you, Kathy and Jun. When I looked over this story, I counted them up because I saw so many different personal attributes. It was 14. Your leaders recognized 14 different personal attributes in this story. So what would you highlight? What would you say is the personal approach you bring to your work each day, that one attribute you bring more than any other that helps you thrive in your role here at Mount Sinai?
Oh, thank you, Steve, Kathy, and team for the recognition. And I thank my leadership team for nominating me for the recognition. The best way that I can describe my approach, my personal approach to thrive on my day-to-day role in the DTP sector, is that I would say knowing the satisfaction that I've helped somebody, whether it's a doctor, an end user, or even just a regular person, to resolve their issues rather than get pushed out to the next person saying that I don't know how to do this, I'm not going to do it. And that means something to me. Like, I know we're all human. We get frustrated if something doesn't work, and if we can't get anything to work, we get frustrated. And the fact that we have to be there for them, like, we are empathetic about, and we need to put ourselves in their shoes, just so that we understand where they're coming from. So back in 2008, right, when I got onboarded to Continuing Health Partners, like, this is way back when.
Yeah.
I was guided by the great leadership that I was under. So they always tell me to do my best when working with the end user, either by putting yourself in their shoes and seeing what they're going through, like trying to get the frustration out, trying to get an application to work or the computer to work. But at the end of the day, knowing that I was able to help them out, getting their issues resolved, and get them moving, so that way they can go see patients, input data, or any type of computer issues. That ultimately made my day. Right? So take for example, right? Just this past Wednesday, a doctor that I spoke to maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, that I worked on his computer, or maybe something related to IT. So he saved my number. I don't know how, like, when I spoke to him, like he saved my number over in his cell phone. So he called me this Wednesday and said, I'm hoping you can help me out. Is this Mount Sinai IT? I'm like, yes, this is Mount Sinai IT, but depending which department you're looking for, I will need to direct your call. So first I had to verify if he's an actual employee, through the system, like their life number and whatnot. So basically, ultimately, he had bank account information that was hacked. So he needed to update his payroll information, so that way his checks will be going to the new bank account information rather than the old, which it's hacked. So I told him, look, I understand your frustration. I understand that you had called the help desk and they gave him, like, a different team that wasn't even close to this issue that he had. So I told him, like, let me find out what's your what teams that I can direct your call, and hopefully we can get this resolved. So I reached out to some of my colleagues. I got him the correct information where he needs to call and which team to engage. At the end of the day, he was so grateful, and he said, "I'm so sorry to bother you, but no, that's not what we're here for. We're here to help you through the end, so that way you can get your issue resolved."
Right.
And at the end of the day, he was grateful, he was happy, and I hope he got his issue resolved. So with that said, that is my goal, my drive for helping people within this organization.
Well, it starts with your purpose, and I love to hear how you are bringing the empathy. You lead with empathy to a colleague and understanding what they're dealing with and not wanting them to have that. And then thank you for sharing a daily example. Like, this happens every day. Here's just an example from this past week of what that looks like. So I really thank you for sharing your purpose and then for sharing an example of it.
Thank you, Steve.
Wonderful work. Thank you so much, Jen. And we got one more story for you. Now, I heard that Osner Gentile was out on PTO this week, but he's here anyway, coming to join and have his moment. So stick with us for one more. Osner, thanks for still coming. We're great to have you here. And I think Sadika is here to share your story.
I am. Good afternoon, Steve, and congratulations to all the honorees today. Today, I would like to honor Osner Gentile.
At lunch.
He has been a great asset to our Access Center team since 2016. His work ethic is commendable, and we admire how dedicated he is, going the extra mile when assisting our patients. Osna is very reliable, committed to his role, and very knowledgeable about department's workflows for the many clinics we work with. His skills continue to provide the support needed as we strive for patient satisfaction. Osna has been working with us for a long time, and we appreciate his continued dedication to our patients. Thank you, Osna, for your hard work. Our team appreciates you. And just to add, this is not Osna's first recognition. This is his second one. So congratulations.
I knew the name. So we're back to be recognized, Osner. I knew it. And because now we're coming up on your 10th year, 9 years done, into your 10th year. Can you share with us, your approach to everyday work in a way that makes a real difference for your patients and the experience that they have at Mount Sinai?
One thing that I learned my first year, I try to treat everybody like they're my cousin, because they're basically family members to us. And you always want your family to be taken care of the right way. So I look at everybody in that way.
Excellent.
So I make it easy for them as much as possible.
Every single patient, every single caller is a cousin calling you up and looking for your support, and you treat them like family.
Exactly. I've actually had patients that have called years later. I'm like, I remember you.
See that? Wow. Years later. That's wild. Well, when you make an impact through your voice on the phone of someone who's listening, who's there, who's compassionate, who's caring, treats them like family, and they'll remember you for sure.
Yes, that's all true.
Thank you so much, Osner. Glad you could still make it for our episode today. Enjoy your time and in your
Thank you for
weekend.
the
And thank you,
appreciation. I'm
Sadika.
not used to it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. And thanks everyone, as always, for joining us on Beyond the Badge. That wraps our episode of the June stories. Now, the July stories are all wrapped up. I've got them ready for you. We're going to air those on September 5th, bring you another collection of great employee stories. So everyone, if you enjoyed this, come on back and see us next month and every month. Thank you to our loyal audience of leaders who are out there, to all of our first-time viewers. Congratulations to everyone we recognize today. Thank you for sharing your insights, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend and rest of your year.